Good morning, students. Yesterday we have discussed about the literary sources, and in the literary sources we have studied about the official records. Now we will see the indigenous literary sources. As I have already told you all, that indigenous literary sources includes the writings of the Indian people. So see, there were a large number of Indian scholars, authors, historians who have penned down the events as they unfolded in the era. So, many Indian scholars were there, means students, authors, historians who also wrote down about the events of this era. Plethora of source material can also be obtained from the newspaper, magazines, chronicles, letters, books, pamphlets, photographs, autobiographies, texts of speeches of those time. So, plenty of source material we can also get from the newspaper, magazine, chronicles, letters, books, pamphlets, photograph, autobiographies, text of speeches of that time. In the latter stages, with the invention of video photography and cinematography, some audio video clips are also available as records of instances and events. Later on, when photography was invented as well as the cinematography was invented, then we can also get some audio video clip of these events. There are many contemporary or semi contemporary works such as memoirs, biographies, travel accounts, which give us interesting and useful glimpse into the history of the 18th and early 19th centuries. Besides that, there were also a lot of other sources, which are the memoirs. Memoirs means memories of an individual. Biography, biography and autobiography, two things are there. Biography means when any event related to any individual is written by the another person, and autobiography when the events of any individual is written by himself. So memoirs, biography, travel accounts also give us a lot of information regarding the history of the 18th and early 19th centuries. Now, Ras Sundari Devi was a Bengali woman who wrote her memoirs in Bengali. So Ras Sundari Devi was a Bengali woman, and she also wrote a very famous memoir which was written in the Bengali language. The memoirs revolve around the day-to-day experiences as a housewife. In her memoir, she wrote about the experiences which were faced by a housewife. She used to pursue her education by hiding herself in the kitchen. Now see, she was getting education, but how? By hiding. We can say from the kitchen she was getting her education. Her writings were published in 1876 as Amar Jeevan, My Life. So what things were written by Rasundari Devi that was published in 1876 under the title Amar Jeevan, means My Life. It highlights the state of women and the social order in which women were prevented from gaining education. In her memoir, she wrote about the condition of the woman, as well as she also wrote that how in the society women were prevented from getting the education. Her writing is an important source of situation on the ground of the society during those times. So by her memoir, this Amar Jeevan, we can get the idea about the society, means what was the situation of the society or how society was during that time. Beside that, some other sources were there, other sources. So a large number of historical buildings and structure continue to exist, which are also a strong evidence of how things happened in this period. So beside that, a lot of historical buildings and structures were there, which also give a lot of evidence related to this period. It is well known that Delhi has always been the center of power and the capital of India. So it is well known to us that during the Mughal time, before the Mughals, and after the Mughals, at the time of the British also, Delhi was the center of the power and the capital of the India. It has seen the shift of power from the Mughals to the British and then to that of independent India. So Delhi was an evidence, or Delhi has seen that how power shifted from the Mughals to the British and then from the British to the Indians. The transformation of Delhi from a compact city with narrow lanes, small houses, and buildings to a new city with huge buildings like the Rashtrapati Bhavan, the Secretariat, and the Parliament. Large monuments like India Gate, trade and commercial centers like Connaught Place, and wide roads give a clear understanding of how things change from one stage to the another. So, earlier time Delhi was a very compact city, means packed city with narrow lanes, means very narrow roads were there, small houses were there. Later on, when Britishers came, then a lot of huge buildings were constructed like the Rashtrapati Bhavan, Secretariat, and the Parliament. A lot of monuments were also established like the India Gate. Beside that, trade and commercial center also developed. Best example is the Connaught Place and wide road. These all things were showing that how power shifted from one to the another and how with the shift of the power Delhi also transformed a lot or changed a lot. It is nearly a living example of the shift of power from Red Fort to Rasina Hill or the Governor General's office and later similar transfer of power from the British to the government of India. So it shows that how power shifted from the Red Fort, means earlier time Red Fort was the main center of the power in the Delhi. Later on from the Red Fort power came to the Rasina Hill or the Governor General office, and later on when Britishers left India, then they gave the power to the Indians. So it was also a testimony that how British power came to the hands of the India. Similarly, the growth of village Kalikata into Calcutta with huge buildings like Victoria Memorial, Fort William are also sources of information on the lifestyle and changes brought about by the British. One more example is there how a small village named as the Kalikata changed into a huge city like the Calcutta with the huge building like the Victoria Memorial, Fort William. This also show about the lifestyle and the changes which were made by the British. The bridge over river Hooghly, the famous trams of Calcutta, and in fact the advent of railway in India as a whole are testimony of the technology which came in during those years. So, the bridge which was constructed over the Hooghly river, the famous trams of the Calcutta, trams is also a type of the train. Later on, the invention of the railway. These all things showed, showed us that how during the British period technology came within the India. Now conclusion. There are many sources of information which help us study our past. So to study our past, we have seen a lot of sources are there. But whatever was written could also have been biased and subjective assessment of a particular person or a matter of individual interpretation. But we can say what has been written that can be biased, means that have the controversial of the views, and we can also say that the things which we are discussing or studying that can be the matter which is written by a particular person. Therefore, one has to be careful to take the holistic and balanced view of how things happened in the past which do not have any living witness. That's why, while studying history, one should be very careful because how things happened in that past time, at that for that there is not any living witness, means anyone is not living now, who has seen that yes, I have seen that this was the condition during the Mughal time, this was the condition during the British time. So at the time of studying history, one should be very careful, or we should be very careful. For example, the document and records pertaining to the colonial rule in India may have been created or endorsed with information which were biased towards the colonial rulers and may not state the real situation of the country. Yes, for example, it is saying the documents which were prepared by the colonial India or which were prepared by the British, maybe in that they have shown their glory, and they have rejected the situation of the Indians. That's why they have written about themselves only. So we can't say that what is written that is fully true. The pictures and their interpretations have also got to be studied in detail and corroborated with other things and relics of the past to get a comprehensive understanding of history. So the picture are the other things which are being there, that should be understood in a comprehensive way so that we can get the proper idea regarding the history. So here we have finished the explanation of this chapter. Now I am giving you a small homework. See here, choose the correct options are there, and this is the homework for you all. Correct options as well as the fill in the blanks. These two will be the homework for you all, and I hope that you all will do it. Okay.